Hello, welcome. So, my body map, this came from a concept that Helen pitched as a problem, which was how do we fix the problem that some people may have changed sex but still get inappropriate letters. The example being a friend of Helen's who's a lady, keeps getting asked to go for a cervical smear, but she doesn't have a cervix, so not a lot of point. So how do we get GPs to ask the question, have you always been the sex you are? Not a very easy question to ask. So why don't we come up with a solution where I can map my body and submit to my GP what I look like, what bits I've got that might need some kind of screening in the future to make sure my GP is aware. We'd love to feed this into a GP system. The reality is it's probably not going to happen. So the concept of this system was give people a web app where they can complete some of that information and send it to the GP via an email back to the patient. So we did some patient flow mapping, which some of the guys from NHS Digital helped us with, looking at inputs, outputs, some of the problems, looked at a bunch of different solutions, and this is some of the workflow that we thought about in terms of screens, and we'll do it now.
Okay, so we're going to go through just a quick example for you. Rob's going to get up our web app that we've set up. Basically, I am Becky. I was born as, I was assigned male, and I have come out as a woman in the last few years. Yes. I need to make sure my GP knows that even though on my file it says that I am a female, I still have a prostate, and I need to make sure that that is looked after. So I would visit this website and fill in my details to tell my GP that this is facts.
So this website would sit inside a prettier looking website, which has got information, and there'll be a sub-screen within it which would contain this app. So it looks prettier than it looks now. Where is it? Yeah.
So MVP.
Oh, nice. Shh, it's not a demo.
So, while Rob sorts that out, I'll go through what we need to do. We would go to the website, I have a quick look through the information and check that this is what I want to do. I would then go into the form, fill in my details, first name, last name, email, my address, my date of birth to make sure we get the right person. Then I would get to a screen which has a body map on, and I can choose from a list of options what organs I have. We started off with just sexual organs, but in the future we want to take it forward and make it work all the organs and other body parts to make this work in the future. So I would tick that I have breasts and a cervix, breasts, but also a prostate. And then I would hit next, and that would submit that for me. And then I would check all of the details that I've put in carefully to make sure that I haven't submitted anything wrong, and then hit next. And then I would read through this declaration and double check that I am happy with the information I'm going to give, and hit submit. And that is my consent. That is then sent to the GP, that is sent to the screening team, and a copy is also sent to myself for my records. The website does not record any of this information, it's securely discarded, so no one gets any personal information about myself. Okay, any questions then? Yes?
Would you think that the outputs of the website would be sent by letter or email or?
We are doing it by email.
So we spoke to a lovely GP colleague, Jeffrey, who's helped out a lot of people, and he said that a nice format to get things in is something you can copy and paste. So if anyone's used emails, you can add information. But if you add in a scanned letter that then comes as a PDF, it takes 10 seconds to load, and it's all very silly, whereas copy and paste is really nice. Physical letters are fine for some people and they're more traceable, but we just decided for email for ease. The thing we would really like to do is, this data can clearly be, if this goes forward, then we can comply with information governance properly and lock everything down properly. We can expose the data as service, so an API backwards, so the screening register can then query that instead of sending a paper list of names to a GP who then has to say, no, don't screen this patient manually, which is silly. So we're kind of letting patients, in the same way they can currently opt out if they want, but it's quite difficult or annoying for them or traumatic, allowing them to be automatically opted out.
Yeah.
You're the person who knows more about that than you. You maybe move them from G to B. Just put in that sooner or later we need an electronic record that belongs to you that's standardised internationally.
Yeah.
And that would solve the problem.
Something for the vision. Yeah,
So, imagining that some GPs are great and they go, brilliant, I'm going to action this, I'm going to go ahead and do the appropriate things they should. Some of them won't do that because, you know, we all know GPs are lazy.
Just don't have enough to
That will
do.
happen. What's the next thing that you would do as a project campaign to try and push that forward?
So we thought about this and we thought what we would do is count the number of people who submit. We're not going to keep the data, but then give people an opportunity to give us feedback and ask them to come back regularly to the site and let us know if there's a problem, if the GP's not taken on that data. Then at least we could report 100 people submitted a form, 10 of them got taken seriously, or 90%, and see if we could drive uptake that way. The other thing is we thought we could use this for more than that as well, so it wasn't just around gender transition. We thought it could be used for other people who've got other organs that are not there, or extra organs. I've got extra kidneys, and so on. So it's not just limited to this one use case.
This is me being ignorant. With people who want to get out screening things, is it their GP who takes it off the system, or does the GP then have to contact someone else and say, please remove so-and-so from the screening?
So as I understand it, you can write to the GP, or there are forms that you can pick up from a GP. That, well, there should be, but
GP has to notify, yes, you're right, it's the intermediary that is doing this. So in a way, for me as a GP, rather than just getting something that tells me somebody's organs in, I can go and check and see what are they in. I would rather it was just something that clearly said, I'd like to have this screening or not have this screening. So it kind of like combines the same thing. I think that this is appropriate. We were talking about some good work, a leaflet's been published for people with transgender to help them understand the screening options just this summer. And it'd be good to kind of link that in with this so that it then became much more specific.
Last one.
Are you, is the patient at risk if they get it wrong? How can you protect that?
So we talked about the GP needing to screen the data and then confirm that it looked accurate, and maybe talk to the patient if they were opting out of screening programs.
And just to say, with some screening programs that are directly commissioned, there will be some kind of safeguards and safe activities in there as well. So if something's changed recently, there's already some checks, so there's quite a lot of.
and on that, crucially, the way the thing that is added to the record is worded is, this is a self-declaration. I confirm that these things are true. And you have to allow people to assume some responsibility for themselves. Of course, it's in their interests to have the right bits notified and the other bits not. So that's why all information is given that way, and I give my consent. This is true to the best of my knowledge. I'm doing my best. And patients can self-declare anything. So anytime you write to your GP, a copy of that goes in the file, right? So it's the same as that.
Well, can I ask, just in the context of that question the chat's just asked, did you talk about lodging this on the NHS apps library and going through kind of nice level of accreditation, or taking it to ORCA or one of those agencies that could actually then sign off and say this is a ORCA valid?
Let me write those things down while you say them.
We didn't talk about that. We talked about a fair bit about patient flows and what was the best way to do this with some of the NHS digital colleagues, which were very helpful. Yeah. But we didn't go down to that level.
I mean, one of the ways of getting assurance ultimately would be for the public to adopt this would be for it to be registered on NHS apps library with a kind of, this is an NHS authorised app, or with an ORCA, whatever its level. People will know better than me, but what is ORCA levels 1 to 5, isn't it? Let me know. Anyway, an ORCA level 5 or whatever it is for sort of app standards.
So how do we do that? So how does anyone do that?
So go to... So when you're ready, there's a site called developer.nhs.uk, and it's got information about the process of getting apps into accredited. Thank you very much.